Hey, welcome everybody. We got the Schwartz Division
Guys,
semifinals. We got Lonnie Akers, Steve Barker, Al Paquette joining me. We're gonna have a quick 2-hour show here on a Monday afternoon slash evening, depending where you are in Canada. Thank you very much, guys, for joining me.
hey, happy to be here. It should be fun.
No problem. Monday night bowling's always been fun the last year or so. So expect another great show again tonight.
Yeah, Monday night playoffs get to that final four, so that's exciting. Hopefully,
Yeah,
a good
for
match
sure.
today.
We'll just go over it. So we have our number 3 seed, the Toppler Roses, playing the Rock and Rollers in a 2-game match. Total points is what they're going for. So 16 points up for grabs. 8.5 gets you the win. If it's a tie 8-8, then we go to total pinfall for both matches. We'll quickly go over the brackets here. So we're on the left-hand side of the brackets in the Schwartz division. We have Next Gen that won the other side of the semifinal against the Venom, who ended up beating the Mayhem. We have Mayhem manager Steve Barker here right with us the very next day. Feelings are fresh, ready to commentate on the other semifinal here between the Rock and Rollers and the Toppler Roses. Any insight before we bring our managers in here? I know you guys did a little bit of research. They're head-to-head in the round robin. How'd that all go?
They actually played near the end of the season. The Rock and Rollers eked out a 6-2 win with 12:57 to 11:70. So actually not either team's best games of the year. Rock and Rollers got off to a bit of a slow start this year, losing their first two, but then finished strong. Toppler was really strong at the start of the year, the first 2/3. They ended up losing 3 of their last 4 games, but still good enough to finish in third spot. So two very strong teams.
And Steve, to chime in a little bit there, Steve chimed in earlier as well and stated that these two teams faced each other in the 4-5 matchup last year, I believe, in the playoffs.
Yeah, the play-in game last year.
The playing game last year.
Toppler won that one 13.5 to 13-15, and then Toppler beat us out last year. So
the Rock and Rollers looking for redemption.
Yeah,
is what's happening here.
There's some history here. That's
history,
exciting
exactly.
already. Yeah.
Both teams
So
have
we'll
a ton
bring
of
in.
talent.
Yeah, for
Both
sure.
teams
They
have
do.
a ton of talent, so yeah, we should hopefully see some good scores and some fireworks, and yeah.
What this is all about. Let's go ahead and bring in our managers here, and we can get this rivalry back on the road here. Hey, Stace and Shane.
Hey,
How you
guys.
guys doing? So, obviously, we're ready to rock and roll, get straight into this match. But first, obviously, how are the teams feeling? We are on kind of an off night. We have a bunch of tournaments coming in at the end of the season, so we're trying to squeak this semifinal match in for both of you guys. A great season for both of you, obviously, to finish into the buys to get into the semifinal. So we'll start with you, Stace. How's the team feeling? It's 4:00 in the afternoon on a Monday night in Alberta. What's going on?
I think, they're feeling pretty good. They all probably took half the afternoon off. So, a little break from work. And we have our final night of league here tonight, too. So it's just a little practice session maybe for a couple of them. And I think they're always feeling pretty good.
Perfect. And Shane, obviously a Monday night out on the rock. How's it going?
Yeah, it's going good. I mean, we had our master sets, or our last master weekend, Saturday and Sunday. So most of us bowled either 8 or 16 games. So that's always fun. So we're either all wore out or we're ready to go. One or the other. We'll find out here shortly. But we all bowled, so we're all fresh and see how it goes.
Perfect. So we know we're in a little bit of time crunch, so we'll try and get this match started right away. Stace, you guys are the number 3 seed. So what's your lineup?
The lineup goes today: Parker, Marcello, Daryl, Christine, Derek. We have Rich and Jennifer on the bench, and then Pam is not playing today.
All right, perfect. And Shane.
We have Brandon Tibbs, myself, Katie, Smitty, and then Brad, Courtney, and Mitchell Williams are on our bench.
Perfect. All right. So it's just like normal. We'll get you playing and we'll have the commercial at the 5th frame. And we will have a manager's quick interview here after game 1 because you get to reset your lineups for game 2. So best of luck and play well, guys.
Good
luck.
luck, guys.
Good luck, guys.
Luck, guys.
Good luck. Are we going through the lineups?
Yeah, you betcha. So we'll
not the lineups, but the rosters, I guess I should say.
You bet. Who wants to hammer out the roses?
I'll do those. Toppler Roses, Parker Anderson, Rich Weber, Jennifer Smith, Derek Holm, Pamela Wilson, Marcello Juricic, Daryl Wood, Christine Poksa, and managed by Stacy Weber out of Toppler Bowl in Calgary.
I can do the Rock and Rollers if you want, Lonnie. So we got the Rock and Rollers out of Newfoundland. We got Shane Chafe, Brandon Tibbs, Brad Glynn, Brandon Smith, Mitchell Williams, Courtney Lucas, Katie Wells, and manager/bowler Shane Chafe, bowling out of Plaza Bowl.
Perfect. So these teams get ready to rock and roll here. Tend to use the Rock and Rollers name a lot in these broadcasts. It's a good name. They really nailed it.
I was gonna say that's a Kerry Kreitz tagline. I think got to get rock and roll in and rock and roll and yeah.
Just
no, this should be fun. Such in my opinion like stacked teams. Like you look at the leadoff spot, you got Brandon Tibbs, which I believe is the Masters Newfoundland singles rep who just took down the provincial championship this past weekend. Parker coming off his Regina Classic victory, pretty good leadoff bowlers on the lanes here.
Yeah,
Parker being a previous MVP, right?
Yeah, and veteran talent and lots of young talent on both teams too.
Yeah, I don't know from a Newfoundland. I know they have kind of like 3, I guess, primary centers. I guess they got Plaza, Holiday, and St. Pat's. So I don't know if everybody's at Plaza or they all bowl out of Plaza on a regular league night. But clearly they've had a great season bowling out of Plaza this year. So here they are, 2nd seed in the Schwartz division.
Yeah, they also have Paradise out there, right? So
Paradise too. That's right. Sorry.
It's kind of neat. The Glynn family, Brad and his brother, purchased Paradise and Holiday, and then they're playing out of Plaza, a center that Brad Glynn doesn't even own, right?
Maybe there'll be a relocation next year.
Oh, or they have. It's just a great community out there. It doesn't matter who owns what. You go out and play, right?
I'm not familiar with the centers in Newfoundland. I don't know if Plaza is the most, has the better pinfall, maybe, or strategic planning behind it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Saw Shane stick there on his first ball with that 3-pin, so hopefully it's not a reoccurring theme for him moving forward. But
as it's been cued on the Cargill side, that is something in the tub, the 3-pin.
Yeah.
If you're gonna get a 3-pin, get it in the first frame at least. Get it out of the way. Move on. You got your 15. You're gonna be down 15 at the max with Marcelo getting a spare there. So.
Yes, I forgot about that trade, Kerry. Tyler mentioned it on one of our broadcasts.
Yeah.
He
just as
there too, it looks like.
I wonder if it's a little heavy there. I'm not sure what the weather is like out in Newfoundland. I know when we were out there in the summer for nationals, it was pretty heavy, just due to the humidity levels, right?
Yeah.
I know Brandon's kind of always got a little bit of a hop on his step kind of thing, so it's unfamiliar with Brandon. If you're not familiar, he is, if I'm not mistaken, the C5 National Opens rep for Newfoundland. So you got both singles reps from Newfoundland on the men's side. I don't know if Courtney or Katie won the women's side. Sorry, but,
Courtney did. Courtney won the Masters singles.
This okay.
Yeah, Courtney won the
And then
mass.
Nicole Pretty or something like that, I think, went on the
Yeah.
C5 side.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe Katie was the top qualifier and then lost, got double dipped in the step ladder to
I
finish
know how
second.
that feels. Decent start from the Rock and Rollers. 3 marks up on the board.
Looks like they're having fun. Looking like they're pretty loose.
Yeah.
Well, they
Having a
got
good
60
time.
games of practice over the weekend, so they like Shane mentioned, they're either really loose, fresh off some competition over the weekend, or they might be a little rough after bowling 60 games over the weekend. So you don't know. But the top of the roses here off to a good start too. 4 marks, strike at the bottom from Derek. Derek's played well all season as well in his pro league, if I'm not mistaken. So no surprise there.
Yeah, Derek's been unbelievable. The Rock and Rollers, same roster as last year. The Roses lost Kevin and Tracy Holdsworth and replaced them with Christine and Derek, both who have been amazing. Derek averaged 291 this year, playing anchor every game with every frame, and went 10-1 match play playing anchor.
Yikes.
Wow.
So I was curious, so I had to look. The only match he lost was 270 to 264 to Tyler McLean, and Derek threw a power chop in 10 and cherried the 3 on it. That's the only match he lost all year.
Wow.
Poplar getting a little hot here. 6 marks in a row after the open frame from Parker to start. Shane misses right both times so far, so don't know if he's still having issues with sliding, but
He'll figure it out pretty quick. He always does.
oh, these guys,
Yeah.
everybody in this league will figure it out. You can never count anybody out. We've seen so many, ham bones, Yahtzees, 6-packs, et cetera, et cetera. So, hopefully we'll be able to yell those out at some point during this game.
Exactly.
And Christine's been kind of locked into that 4 spot too, right, ahead of Derek. Kind of when she came in.
Yeah, the last several weeks for sure. But yeah, Christine's averaged 278 for 82 frames this year.
Wow.
Let's go down both rosters. For the Roses, Marcello, 270 average for 63 frames with 5 wins. Darryl, 265.6, 71 frames, 5 wins. Parker, 273 for 89 frames, just 3 wins, but I know he's had some monsters thrown against him. I know he's lost at least 2 games with 300s. Jennifer struggled a little bit, but 233 for 67 frames, and Rich Weber has played about half the frames and averaged about 260. Pamela struggled a bit. She's out today for the Rock and Rollers. Shane, 267, average 5.5 wins for 104 frames. Katie Wells, 276.8 through 80 frames with 7 wins. Brad Glenn, 285.5 through 63 frames. Mitchell Williams, 251 for 80 frames. Brandon Smith, 247 for 87 frames. Brandon Tibbs, 287.5 for 56 frames. And Courtney, 248.8 for 70 frames. So you can see why these two are well into the playoffs, both teams.
Yeah.
We'll just go quickly as they're just starting frame 3 here over the payouts for the 5PL this year. So these guys are playing in the Schwartz Home Hardware Division in the semifinals. The loser will go home with $3,360. Winner moving on to the finals, guaranteed $5,600. They're not playing for any small beans, as the league champ takes over 15 grand.
Yeah,
Wow.
this is a $2,000 match here, right? You're jumping from that 32 and change to 5,600. Yeah, you got to split it amongst the roster kind of thing, but still, it's hey, those are big bucks. And then the next jump after that is like a $5,000 jump from the 56 to over 10,000. So it's unreal, really.
Yeah, it's a big deal to win this thing now, right? We're in our 3rd season. It's grown ridiculously amounts. There's teams that want to be in. They're invested. They have players driving up to 2-3 hours to play on one of these teams, right? It's
It's crazy. And we know what else is crazy? The fact that the top of the roses are on fire right now, too. 3 doubles at the top there. Daryl almost falling on his face and still getting that strike to carry. It's they're playing well, especially when you start falling at the line and things start falling. That's kind of like zone-ish kind of feeling sometimes.
Rock and Rollers kind of have some head pin problems here with a couple of their players. So yeah, they got to figure it out quick here because.
Yeah, you don't want to get too far behind to start, but like you said, they got 4 head pins. Brandon's got a couple, and then both Brandon Tibbs and Smith. And now all of a sudden, everybody's getting strikes. I don't know what's happening. Are they doing corrections? Their scoreboard is just going all the way down.
Their scoreboard is going off.
These guys are on fire.
These guys are in the playoffs.
We caught them breaking it.
That's one way to cut.
They're obviously having a scoring error due to the pins being tangled, so they will fix that.
I certainly hope so. I don't even know where we were at anymore. I think we were at. Smitty was up. I think.
Yeah.
Maybe Katie.
Yeah.
I think Katie
won one for her 3-bagger. I think.
Yeah.
So Derek had to stumble at the line there too. Kind of went wide left there. So 3-pin. I'm sure he's not happy about that. Oh, doesn't convert the spare. No pinfall there. Another good frame from Toppler though, putting up 4 marks with 3 doubles. I take that every day of the week.
Sure. Yeah.
And they're scoring just to make sure, like those that 281 includes the marks kind of thing. They're kind of 15 and 30s, eh?
Yeah, it includes it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I know some scoring systems from previous pro leagues didn't add up, kind of thing. So just want to make sure working on the right numbers here.
Yeah, you bet.
It's much easier for us when totals are included.
Yeah, it is. Exactly. That's why I was going to take a pen and paper out here and start kind of jotting down some numbers kind of thing, but looks like we'll be okay.
Just waiting for them to correct the scoreboard here.
Is this a bold strategy from the Rock and Rollers to try to ice the top of the roses?
I feel the Roses probably don't care.
No. I'm just messing around. It's just filibustering here as we get this figured out here. So Katie was heading up on the approach there for her 3rd strike in a row here. So looks like they figured it out. So sorry for the delay, everybody.
Quick and easy. They were on the ball. They noticed the error right away.
Yeah. Well, maybe she iced herself.
Yeah. Blame Shane. He's the one that tangled it.
Blame Shane for everything.
Yeah, pretty much everybody does.
Oh, it's tapped on that corner too.
We did have a question in the chat here about do the players pay lineage or anything like that. So the 5PL, the way it works is just the league. We contact the professional team, so you could compare the Rock and Rollers to the Edmonton Oilers. The Edmonton Oilers are in the league. They decide where they're playing. They happen to play out of Edmonton. They figure out which stadium they're playing out of, all that stuff, and that is their issue. If they need to pay their proprietor, if they need to raise sponsorship money to offset that, whatever that situation is, that is not the 5PL's situation. They just give the spot to the Rock and Rollers, and they figure out how and where they are playing.
Yeah, there's a lot of kind of background work that goes with those team managers that we kind of announce at the beginning of all these pro leagues and the local proprietor to see if they're willing to host, because at the end of the day, they might want to make money, they might want to charge, or they might give the lanes for free if they're available, kind of thing, right? So it's definitely up to the proprietors and those teams to figure that out.
Yeah, I think the league's gotten to a certain size that these teams, some proprietors really want them to play in their center, so they're getting the time and the lane space for free, and the feedback is Plaza Bowl gets to be on camera 16 matches or 11 matches throughout the season. It's a little bit of advertising for them to showcase their center and their pinfall, right?
Their pinfall, their bowlers, the talent that they have, right? So it's definitely good exposure for the bowling centers to get involved.
First sub of the day, Mitch in for Shane Cheat.
Yeah, I thought it might not take too long with the start that Topplers had, and I know I've talked about it with Mitchell Ryu when he's been on, because we've done a lot of the Rock and Rollers game. The tricky, Shane's in a tough spot being player manager. I know how hard it is to be a manager and keep track of everything and moves and how matches are going and how people are throwing and getting all that figured out. So obviously, Carrie, I think you guys managed yourselves this year. Did you notice a difference, or did you delegate someone who was going to be out every game, or how did you guys look at it? Now I guess you can that vote too.
Yeah, so we did manage ourselves. We did kind of nominate Victor and Katie as they kind of wanted to step up and take on that role, since we didn't have a manager this year. And I think they did notice a difference. I don't think it was very enjoyable for them. That's probably something the Dream Crushers will be looking into, is finding that manager role again and filling that spot, because it takes the workload off the players. The players are there to focus, right?
Yeah.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, a little bit of a break here for the Rock and Rollers with the Roses kind of opening up here with these doubles. Oh, Wood's got to get a good one there.
There you go. Great shot from Daryl. Yeah.
It's funny after
Turkey of the day.
Sorry. I was just going to say, with the people ahead of you on doubles and both of them punch, your tendency is you want to make sure you don't punch, but you also don't want to miss and give away your double.
Yeah. That's always the tough thing, right? When you think about don't punch, it's usually it's your train of thought, right? You're thinking about not punching, odds are you're probably going to punch. So it's definitely tough when you see two of them in front of you do that. So but props to Daryl, kept it to the side. Gave the team a little bit of momentum to keep at least one of those doubles working as they finish the first half here. So
yeah, still fairly close game either way.
Yeah, Rock and Rollers again. It seems like their most of their opens are kind of just head pins, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 head pins through 4 frames. So not ideal when you're trying to, as a team, get some momentum, right? Get a plug in between, a few marks here and there. It's tough to get a string of marks going.
Yeah, for sure.
So JB was letting us know in the chat that the strikes are not included in the totals.
So the strikes are not
just the completed frames are.
So that's on the Toppler side.
That's on the Toppler side, yeah.
So they have 447 plus 45, 15, 15 plus 75. So they're at 522. That's how I'm reading that? Okay. So then Toppler does have a little bit of a lead on the Rock and Rollers, with a few additional marks kind of working in their favor as well. So we'll see what happens in the 5th frame here as we right before the commercial break.
All right. Unless I'm reading JB's comment incorrectly. It says the doubles are only counting 30, not 45.
Okay. So they only count 15, 15. They don't kind of double dip on them. Okay. Thanks, JB. You the man.
Keeping us informed.
Oh, Tibbs getting the yank there too?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Courtney Lucas,
okay,
the master
interesting.
single.
Interesting. Yeah. When you have the master single representative on the bench, might not be a bad move. I just know I followed Tibbs this season there, and he's been having a great season. So.
Great shot there by Marcello.
Yeah. All right. So we got Mitch's first complete frame by himself coming up here.
Yeah, fresh off the bench. See what happens here.
Gets the push.
Nice strike. There you go.
Daryl with the ham bone.
Yeah.
Ham bone.
Daryl's just so solid.
Yeah, Toppler.
Almost a throwback. He doesn't throw very hard. Just that nice finesse backup ball, but he gets so much heavy roll on it. It's fun to watch him when he's carrying shots.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got that good tempo. Like when he has good tempo, he carries a lot of thick strikes, thin strikes. Yeah.
Look at Toppler go.
Yeah.
They are they're stacking up. They're stacking up that fifth frame. They weren't happy with the fourth frame, and now they're just piling on 7 marks in a row, 6 of 7 strikes.
Brandon Smith throws the turkey.
Smitty though. So again, Rock and Rollers doing all they can do at this point. Is just trying to keep it on the side here and build some momentum for the break. Maybe it'll be a good time for them to have that break. Both pulls are done on their side, so there's no more pulls. Now you're in it to win it now.
Yeah, settle in.
Yeah, get those nerves out. But Brad, unfortunately, with another headpin there for the team, so not ideal. But at the end of the day, he is still, if he can clean up this wood, he'll be ahead in his match against Derek. So if you're looking kind of position per position here, trying to salvage some points here, he's still in his match. Kind of all the matches are still there. Maybe Daryl pulling away a little bit. Smitty with that triple actually kind of keeps him real close with Christine. So you know what? A lot of individual matches are still up for grabs here. So be an interesting second half.
You bet. We'll roll our commercial and we'll come back for the second half of this first game.
Cargill is proud to be supporting a truly Canadian sport like 5-pin bowling. We look forward to watching some great competition from many competitors and bowling centers across our country. With hundreds of locations across Canada, Cargill is committed to helping the Canadian farmer thrive. Whether it is selling commodities, getting agronomic advice, fertilizer needs, crop protection, and marketing expertise, Cargill is here to help. So please enjoy this bowling. Thank you.
When you come to the Canadian Brewhouse, you'll feel right at home. We work hard to make our house your house. With an affordable menu of appetizers, entrees, desserts, beverages, and killer deals on daily specials. At our house, you never miss a play. As sports lovers, we've ensured each location includes over 50 TVs and our signature Jumbotron. The Canadian Brewhouse is the place people want to be.
All right, here we go.
We're back, and I found the chat feature on YouTube. So if you guys have any questions, whatever, I could chime in too, whatever, and try to help you guys out. I think this is a very important question from Chantel with regards to, in your professional opinion, from traveling around the country for bowling, which 3 centers have the best food?
Oh, wow.
Heritage Lanes has got to be number one, I would think.
Heritage has got to be up there for sure.
Had a great menu there for sure, yeah.
Full restaurant inside the center.
Put your thoughts in the chat. See what everybody else thinks. But give some info to Chantal there so she can know what places have the best food.
Well, I know if she's ever in Saskatoon, Eastview Bowl is got a full restaurant in their bowling alley too, and it's renowned for their good food as well. And I've tried it. It is very good.
I think that's the proper thing to do for the 5PL. Just go to all your local 5-pin bowling centers and just eat all the food.
Yeah, there you go.
It's good everywhere you go.
Yeah, Neb's obviously having a full restaurant too. There's a few centers out there that have invested in that.
Like, who's gonna miss first here? No, Daryl. Sorry, Daryl. I was gonna say right out of the gate, the Rock and Rollers put up a couple doubles there, 3 strikes in a row, and Toppler was doing the same thing. So
Rock and Rollers needed this break. It looked like
another hand bone.
Oh,
and Daryl goes through the hole. So that just brings Katie right back in her match too with that double in 5-6.
Absolutely.
There, so.
And great job off the
push back here.
And great job off the bench by Courtney and Mitchell so far to give Rock and Rollers the spark they needed.
Absolutely.
That is literally the best frame you could do right off of the commercial break.
I don't think you can get any better than that. You got three doubles working basically, and top and bottom back on track here. So great start to the second half. See if Christine can
whatever pep talk was had definitely worked.
Yeah, I saw Jeff Young's post too. They've got a little bit of a crowd watching and at Plaza there. And of course, they've got a little bit of interest as Jen Young filled in during the open roll-off as an emergency spare for the Rock and Rollers, and she did admirably. She's throwing 256 for her one game.
There you go. A little Ontario content into the Newfoundland crowd now.
Do you think Derek takes a little extra time here, knowing the streak the other team's on?
Well, I'm sure they're probably looking again. We don't really know what the setup is for the Top of the Roses, if they have a screen or a monitor nearby. But I would think they would at this point of the competition, especially being in the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm sure all teams have a different setup. I know we're lucky at Nebs. Jeff just hooks the YouTube feed up right on the pair beside us. Yeah. So you're kind of the other good thing about that is there's a couple second delay. So you can kind of, if you want to, you can go and take a quick look at the replay of your shot.
Yeah, fair. Yeah. That was a big shot from Parker there, especially with Courtney punching there. Kind of takes a little bit of a lead in his match after 7.
When I look back to last year's game when they met in the playoffs, Parker played Brandon Tibbs, and it was 373, 321 for Parker.
Yeah, they're gamers, right? Everybody here is a gamer, right? Like you can't count anybody out at any given day, right? It's sometimes it's just going to matter of is it going to be your day? You got to play well, or sometimes we all have bad days too, right? So.
Well, the depth of the league is just crazy. You look at even the teams in our division that didn't make the playoffs. Lonnie's team, the Snowman. I'm going to leave people out. But top to bottom, all the teams are stacked. You got to come out firing and put up big numbers and hope it's enough.
Yeah, Toppler still rolling though. Parker and Cello there with their doubles, a triple for Cello, and now with Mitchell missing in Shane's spot there, gives Cello a little bit of a commanding lead as well in his match through 7, especially with that double counting. So hopefully Mitchell can have this up here for the Rock and Rollers, keep it close.
And in this format, no matter what you're up or what you're down, you have to keep pressing. Every single point, every single stick is important. We've seen it last year in the playoffs when Toppler beat us 8-0, and then we beat them 8-0 the second game and just fell short on totals. We saw a 7-1 game in the other division last year turn around, and the other team beat them 7-1 and walked away with it last year. So
yeah, because even if you're getting blown out by 200-300 pins in a game, the roles can be reversed fairly easily in the next game, right? So you got to try to keep that pinfall up, even if you're in a losing situation, which is an interesting dynamic for this, because a lot of times, if you're in a position to lose a match, let's say in a round robin, well, you just kind of shrug it off. Your give a shit meter might not be there too much, but in this situation, you really got to keep plugging along for the team. Yahtzee. Lonnie, we got it. Yeah, so Smitty's carrying the team there after starting with a couple head pins there. So Five Bagger keeps pinfall in close at least, and Katie's doing her job as well there after that head pin in 4. So
big shot here for Brad. You want to keep adding those doubles.
Oh, Brad's fired up. Here we go. 8, 9, 10. 8, 9, 10. 3 doubles working for the Rock and Rollers. They're sitting at 8, 11. 862 plus 30, 30, 30. So 90. So 952 if my math is correct according to the calculation. So 950. So about 140 pin difference here. But that extra double can really cut that down real quick. And lots of individual matches still up for grabs too. So there's a bomb from Courtney.
Nice shot, yeah.
Parker.
Good roll there by Parker. Yeah.
Yeah. We've got some players here. It's getting close here towards the end. Obviously, the players, you can probably tell from some of their emotion on the lane. They know the situation that they're in. And, for some Monday afternoon / evening bowling, it's fun to see them get fired up. Cello. Hambone. Got a couple ham bones. We got a Yahtzee. We got, let's see how far we can get here. Lots of strikes being thrown here, so should have some decent totals, hopefully. Toppler's firing. Mitchell through the hole. So if he picks up his 15, he's maxing out at 242. If I'm not mistaken. Cello's sitting at that 240 mark without even throwing a ball. So, kind of one game. But again, got to keep focusing on picking up pinfall here. Good pickup for Mitchell there. Got the couple strikes after coming in for Shane, but then maybe having a little bit of a hard time finding the middle there in the last couple frames. So hopefully he can figure it out for 9 and 10.
Another great shot for Christine. 3 left corners in a chop now. The last 7 frames for her.
Oof. Keeps it clean though. Keeps making her spares.
Gets the pull.
Oh, the
Katie. Hambo. Another one. So Katie and Brandon really doing their part, and then hopefully Brad is jumping on board too. Look at this.
Another one.
6-pack alert. Crack open a 6-pack. It's Monday night, folks.
When Smitty's on, he just seems to have such a huge area to hit on either side of the head pin.
Great frame from Toppler there. Good shot from Derek. Little sweeper to the left, or left-hand side. Well, great frame, but a lot of doubles coming down the line here for the Rock and Rollers, keeping it close. Yeah, it seems to be the miss right now for the Rock and Rollers is a lot of head pins. Brad still has a little bit of a lead in this match here, so important to pin this out anyways. Those individual matches, even if total gets out of line, which is not there yet. It's still there for everybody, but those individual matches might be important later on.
And the tough thing for Brad there, his are spread out. If you're going to have two
exactly
early in the game and in a stretch where they're not going to mess up a string on you.
Well, that's the thing. He's got two head pins, sandwiching two strikes kind of thing, right? So it's tough to get anything going there for sure. But Brad's a vet. He'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Oof. That was a little bit of a push from Parker there to the left.
Yeah.
Not ideal, I'm sure. You can tell by his reaction there. Opportunity for Courtney here to put a little 30 count on the board there. Help out the bottom line for the Rock and Rollers. Oh, clutch. I love me a 3-pin spare. I love me a 3-pin spare. Thanks to Mr. Timmy Wiseman for letting us know that they do have TV monitors beside them, so they are indeed watching what's going on the Rock and Roller side. That's a turd in the tub. That's what they call that. Cello throwing bombs. Yahtzee.
Yeah.
Yahtzees and ham bones galore here, kind of all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Always fun to see some string.
Amazing because in baseball they say hitting's contagious, and you see a little bit of that in bowling. Once you get a couple people that can throw, more than a double, it kind of eases everybody else to freewheel along with them.
Yeah, 100%. So Cello is obviously going to take his match in the 2 spot. Parker's got that one locked up as well. Katie with a big shot here. Jesus. Again, 2 head pins smothering, a bunch of strikes again.
Mm-hmm.
She needs to pin this out, though. Pin this out, and she can kind of stay close. If she goes 25, 15, she would have been up by 1.
Yeah, she would have been.
But now she's going to be down by 5, so still, well within reach into the last frame there. So she brought that back, and she needed that. Daryl had that hot start with his 4-bagger to start, but then Katie answered it, in 5 through 8. So props to Katie for staying alive in her match and keeping that one close to the 10th.
Big shot for Smitty to get momentum back here for Rock and Rollers.
Oh, he got roasted there.
3-pin went straight back, didn't carry the deuce.
He got roasted on the right-hand side with his ball going there. I would think that wouldn't be the corner that would stay up, but maybe it was a little too thin and it kind of just blew through it kind of thing. But
yeah.
Again, this is so he's got his match, his individual match kind of wrapped up against Christine. Christine's having obviously a great game. Obviously that punches are only open, in her game. She kept everything else clean. But what do you do when a guy throws a 6-bagger at you in the middle of the game? So
key shots here in the bottom
match is still up for grabs.
There you go. See, Brad. It's all business now, but Derek answers back too. So it looks like we'll have about 120 pins kind of spread here, in total, heading into the last frame. A couple doubles working for the top of roses here, so maybe slight advantage to them. Because, if I'm not mistaken, their marks aren't added into that 1175, so we've got to add another 50, 60 pins there probably. So we'll see what happens here in the last frame. Good push there from Courtney. Keep that total close at this point. So you're not going to lose any ground if you keep throwing strikes. So
true.
So 1205. So I guess it's 15 just in the 1 frame. So so they're down 120 heading into this last frame. Both got strikes on their mark, so no ground lost or gained from anybody. Good double from Courtney. Done a good job off the bench there too. Courtney coming in, she came in the 5th frame, so that one head pin in 7. Otherwise, she's been pretty clean there. So good job off the bench from Courtney, helping out Brandon there and the team.
It'll be interesting to see what they come up with here for a lineup here this next game.
Yeah, exactly. After this game, so there will be a brief kind of break there. We'll chat with the managers. We'll set up the second game, and obviously announce any lineup changes. So, Parker, great game again, 295. Big finish from him after his 3-pin spare and 9
for Courtney. So great, as I mentioned, great fill off the bench for her.
Cello a little thin on the right, almost got a little sweeper going to the left there, but
almost got away with it.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll take that count, and that's huge for total too, especially with Mitchell unfortunately punching a hit in there for the Rock and Rollers. But Cello coming in his playoff game here, coming to play here, so he's gonna be playing at least a 320 game. So great
this is
showing.
kind of the difference right here, this match right here, kind of thing for total pinfall.
Yeah, so they got to keep that pinfall close and try to squeak out a couple of those final matches as well. If Brad and Katie can kind of squeeze out their match with Brandon, that like JB said in the chat here, 5-3 looks a lot better than 7-1, right? So it's those I think those individual matches at the bottom, like these last 3, are going to be pretty huge. So see Katie and Daryl kind of on the approach, ready to go. Good shot from Daryl. Oof, gets the push. Yeah, it looked a little full from this angle there, so it looks like it carried that right deuce there. So again, 5-pin game, 2 shots left in the 10th. Daryl's just gripping and ripping.
The pace of play on both these teams is pretty quick.
I guess they are on a time crunch. They're trying to get this out in record time here, I think. Katie wide left there.
Yeah, both teams, other than basically Mitchell, everybody else plays very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair. Another big finish from Daryl there. So another great game from Daryl.
Yeah.
He had a bunch of strikes that game. A little bit of a lull in the a couple frames, I guess, with 6 and 10 kind of thing. But threw a 4-bagger in the middle and a triple to finish. So a solid 300 game.
Yeah, solid 924 for the first 3 bowlers for the Roses.
Not bad.
Yeah, way to come out.
Thanks for showing up. But yeah, so obviously Brandon's going to win this match here for the Rock and Rollers, so he'll be the bright spot there for them. Obviously the Toppler is sitting at 1356 already, with a double working at the bottom, so potential for 14 and a half. So that's a hell of a game from Toppler. And, the Rock and Rollers are going to have a decent game here at, probably sit at that 12 and a half, potentially reach 1,300, which is not terrible, but you're going to have some work to do.
Finishing with aces, kind of a mix.
Well, that's about the only thing she didn't get, I think, was
exactly,
aces.
Yeah, solid 265. The 2 missed spares, everything else, just 2 strikes, and the rest were
all she had. Top spares, kept it clean. See, 260. She just shot a 265 with 2 strikes the entire game.
Yeah, she maxed out pretty much all she could get there.
Yeah, great game.
So 285 and 290 maxes here 280 maxes here for Derek and Brad.
Yeah. Oh, Derek, I think he knows the importance of that extra point too, right? That 7-1.
You like that one.
Well, and even the count on the doubles, right? Because it's all cumulative. So you know, in a game, once you got totals locked up, you might let up because it doesn't matter whether you lose by 20 or by 300. But here, every stick matters.
Yeah, and I think that's a sign of almost a sign of respect as well for the Rock and Rollers, is that Toppler knows that these Rock and Rollers can play, right? So no lead is safe, right? So every strike is just as important as any other one. So they're playing shot for shot here. It looks like Brad's kind of having a gander there, being the home team, letting the away team go first, maybe.
Yeah.
See if he's still going to have a chance for that individual point, which he will regardless what happens here. But There you go. So you can
That
throw
looks
one
like Brad's
here.
watching.
Yeah. So he can throw one here and basically clinch that individual match here, if I'm not mistaken, right? He goes 45, 30. He'd be at 265 with a strike here. So needs a good count. Just needs a count. Needs like a corner pin.
I think he needs this one, eh?
Does he? Not that quick.
Chop spare strike to win by 2.
Yeah.
Oh, thin on the left, I think. He ran it out.
Yeah.
Got the push.
Got it.
So he'll take the last point away from Derek and Toppler. But, still an important 15 points here to try to bridge that gap, get to 1295, keep it within about 150 pins. 6-2 split. So 6-2 split. So the Rock and Rollers are going to have to go, 6.5, 1.5, I guess, to win the next one or to move on. So should be interesting. Great game from both teams, though. 14-47, 12-85. Solid.
All right. That was a 6-2 win for Toppler Roses there. We will bring in our managers once they're ready.
Yeah, for sure. No, that was a good game. Seems like Toppler kind of pulled away kind of after the break a little bit, but so did the Rock and Rollers. They made a bit of a push right out of the break, right? They had strung, 5 strikes, top to bottom right after the break, threw a couple doubles in, and even they had their Hambones and Yahtzees going. They were trying to get there. Still shot a great game, but Toppler just proved to be a little bit too much on that one. They were firing.
All right, we'll bring Stacy in here and Shane. So, man, lots of strikes going on there. That was a great start to the semifinal match. Totally, good job, guys.
I mean, they threw a lot more.
Yeah. The top 3 bowlers really threw a lot of strikes.
Yeah.
So we have 1447 to 1285. So a little bit of a lead as well in pinfall. But it's the 6-2 win. So 6.5 and 1.5 the other way. It flips right over, right? So any thoughts? How is the team's feeling? Is there any information that we need to know before we ask for lineups?
I think we're feeling pretty good. We, Parker starting out with the 5 pitch really kind of loosened everybody up, and we just put Parker on Raz for a while. So that's how this team works, right? We're all a family, so we Raz each other pretty good. Sometimes too much, maybe.
I don't think there's ever enough.
I like that. You gotta keep it loose in the pit, right? So that's cool.
Oh, it's
clearly it worked. Clearly it worked, shooting 9.5 or whatever for your top 3 bowlers there. So it was a great show.
So maybe that's a little inside information for Shane. Maybe you just need to pick on the crew a little bit more.
No, I just need to get myself out of the lineup. No, I mean, obviously we struggled up top. Never got the team off to the start that we needed, myself and Brandon. So that kind of put us behind and felt like we were always playing in the catch up. So.
Yeah, and then the other difference too, you guys had a couple punches to break off your strings, whereas the Roses broke off with something sparable.
Yeah, so one game, and we were kind of playing for points, and at a certain point, we were hoping to kind of get that third point there, but 6-2, and you say 6.5 is the goal.
Yep. All right, Stace, can we get your lineup?
Same lineup, nothing's changing. Parker, Cello, Daryl, Christine, Derek, Rich and Jennifer on the bench, and Pam is with me.
Perfect. And Shane, Rock and Rollers lineup for game 2 of the match.
Okay, so we're going to go with Courtney, and then Brandon Tibbs, and then Katie, Smitty, Brad, myself, and Mitchell will be on the bench.
All right, perfect. We'll run our commercial, and then as soon as the commercial is over, you guys are good to go.
Okay.
All right.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck, teams.
Cargill is proud to be supporting a truly Canadian sport like 5-pin bowling. We look forward to watching some great competition from many competitors and bowling centres across our country. With hundreds of locations across Canada, Cargill is committed to helping the Canadian farmer thrive. Whether it is selling commodities, getting agronomic advice, fertilizer needs, crop protection, and marketing expertise, Cargill is here to help. So please enjoy this bowling. Thank you.
When you come to the Canadian Brewhouse, you'll feel right at home. We work hard to make our house your house. With an affordable menu of appetizers, entrees, desserts, beverages, and killer deals on daily specials. At our house, you never miss a play. As sports lovers, we've ensured each location includes over 50 TVs and our signature Jumbotron. The Canadian Brewhouse is the place people want to be.
We're back.
All right. We are back. Game 2. 6-2 win for Toppler Roses.
There we go. We got the totals from the last games there too, so we know what the difference is in the event. It does go 6-2 Rock and Rollers here. We're gonna have a little bit of ground to make up on the total side. So
yeah, 162.
It'll be interesting to see if the Rollers can get off to a better start here and just not make it so easy for the Roses to freewheel like they did here and stuff. Give them something to think about a little bit.
yeah, I think from the Rock and Rollers, there's a lot of positives from that game. There's at least 3 or 4 of them that played fairly well. They just couldn't get anything kind of going. From a team perspective, it seemed to always be a head pin like Courtney does in the first frame here. But yeah, like they shot almost 1,300. Like that's a pretty good score where I come from. So can't get too down on themselves with that result, unfortunately.
No, and they had 880 their bottom 3, so it's,
almost kept up with the top 3 on the other side, kind of thing, right? So it wasn't too far off. So they got to keep throwing strikes, try to find the side a little bit more here, and we'll see if this coaches / managers lineup change will spark something. Like Shane mentioned in his comments, he said the top 2 with himself and Brandon didn't really lead the team here. So Courtney did a great job coming off the bench, and here we got Brandon, filling into that 2 hole there, throwing a bomb to get hopefully the team started here.
Yeah, and you also wouldn't expect either one of them to struggle 2 games in a row.
Yeah, and that's a lot of pressure for Toppler as well, right? Obviously, they're most of these bowlers are seasoned veterans now in the WCBT Open Masters kind of channels. So for them to throw back to back big games like that is not unheard of. So it's they got to expect that they're going to be hot still.
Yeah, just taking a quick look at the Roses season. They started the season shooting 1439, but losing 6-2 to Next Gen. Which a few teams have gone through that against Next Gen.
Yeah.
They won their next game 7-1 with 1438. Won 4.5, 3.5 against the Holy Rollers with 1354. Then had 1301, and then played Lonnie's team and shot 13.5 almost, winning 7-1, and then 1490 against us, and then 6-2 with 1268. So like they started the season with 7 just great games, and they stumbled home a little bit with losing three of their last 4, but one of those was a 1531 to 1453 win against the Trash Pandas.
Jeez.
So they've been putting up big numbers here.
Well, yeah, when you went over their averages in that first game, it's no doubt that they were obviously throwing some big totals out there. So
yeah,
but you just look at the names, right? You look at the names, you look at the roster. We all know that, averages obviously is a telling stat, but sometimes it could be skewed a little bit. So, everybody here can play, which is what I love about the league.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then the Rock and Rollers, actually, it's kind of funny. They started with 2 losses with Brad on the bottom, and he was playing very well. And then they had a 3-game day where Brad wasn't available, and then they won all 3 to kind of turn their season around. Which
what are you saying?
I'm sure I think I was on commentary on that one and the following one. I mentioned to Shane whether he happened to mention it to Brad. He goes, "Oh yeah, several times." So they started their season with 2 losses, and then won 4 in a row, and then lost, and finished with 4 in a row that they won. So Rock and Rollers certainly have it in it. As we know, they've got a star-studded lineup, and they're off to a decent start here.
Yeah, the exact start that they needed. Again, the only problems they're having is finding a couple headpins top and bottom there, but out of sight, out of mind. Focus on the next shot, and keep the marks rolling for the team here. There you go. Pushes over, gets
good break there.
Yeah, good little break there for getting that chop off. So at least it's a sparable at this point. So, and now we got Toppler kind of getting in that same boat here. They got 4 headpins in their first 9 shots or 8 shots. So they're getting a little bit of the rock and roller what they went through the first game.
And what you want to do, I think, if you're the Rock and Rollers, you want to get off to a good start and get up a little bit of a lead on totals, so that you want to make the Roses start prepping, and then even start worrying about, okay, if we can't get totals, we at least got to make sure we get matches, and that you never want to do that as a team. You don't want to be looking at your matches. You want to be playing together and get as many points for totals as you want.
And Steve, with you being kind of coach extraordinaire here, leading the Mayhem to back-to-back playoff positions here, Toppler hasn't made any pulls yet. So does that become a concern in a game like this if, things get close? Because now obviously in this format, you can practice off to the sides, I guess. So maybe it's not as much of an issue as I might think it might be.
That's a huge deal, actually, because there's a huge difference between throwing someone in that hasn't thrown in an hour and a half.
Exactly.
As opposed to someone who's throwing like
off to the side.
Yeah. And then they've got Rich, who's been great off the bench, and Jennifer, who's basically
Jennifer is Jennifer.
Yeah.
Her resume speaks for itself, kind of thing, right? So
and if you're playing for Toppler, that should be a reason not to press or not to panic, because even if you start struggling, look who you've got behind you.
Yeah, that was maybe a little bit of an introduction for those that don't know, who are kind of tuning in, whatever, that are in this format. You're actually, if you're not starting the match, you're able to practice off to the side. So you're not coming off the bench, necessarily cold. So it's important to be ready off to the sides, keep practicing off to the side, so that when the manager wants to make that decision, that you can go in and you're fresh.
Yeah, the practice range is wide open for you.
Yeah, exactly. It's like being on a golf course and not playing and having a driving range to the side all the time, so you're always kind of staying fresh.
Yeah.
Cello.
Cruncher.
Oh, looks like Tibbs liked that one. He had a fist pump kind of like mid-shot there. But Tibbs looks like he's feeling a little bit better there, getting some emotion into his shots there. So a solid start from Brandon after getting pulled in the first match. There you go. Nice confident shot right out of his hand. He kind of gave that fist pump. Knew he had it. I'll take the under, JB. Sorry, I just saw your comment. Oh, Tibbs has a gator clap too. I thought that was a Holy Rollers thing.
Yeah. Look at Roses here.
Your Roses are going too, eh?
Yeah.
Toppler is finding a groove.
A little bit of a slow start. They didn't like that. put 3 strikes in the second frame
But
and then
slow
hack the third
start.
frame.
Slow start. Your 4 opens or 4 hit pins. Other than that, you literally have 1 spare and all strikes.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Not bad. Not bad.
Get those head pins early, right? So then you can just kind of string everything else. So.
And the Roses, 6 of them for sure have been through this before last year in the playoffs, right? They know they can't let up because as we mentioned earlier, when they played us, they beat us 8-0 the first game, and we turned the tables on them and came within a ball of
taking down the match.
So yeah, there's no quitter let up on either side here.
No, this looks like it's going to be a good match. Derek just got roasted on that shot there. He almost walked away from that one, I think. Oh, when he misses it. Misses the spare. So this is the spare, but doesn't really lose much with Brad punching there in the anchor spot there for the Rock and Rollers. So
it's funny because Derek hasn't missed much of anything this year. But whenever he's missed a corner, he's just rushed and fired the second ball. But he's never missed on the second ball doing that. So your tendency would be to take your time, make sure you get it. But
that's what everybody says, though, right? It's always easier on a third ball, right? When you're kind of you don't care as much, and you always get it for whatever reason. Sometimes people try too hard, I guess, right? So
interesting dynamic here with Shane as the player manager, whether he will. And I think he's confident and has respect of everybody too. But I've always wondered whether he pulls himself earlier than other people would at times, and whether he hesitates putting himself in a little more than other people would.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough situation. I did the whole player manager role too, and it's tough, especially like if you're on the bench or if you're starting kind of thing. You give yourself a shorter leash or give other people a longer leash when you're on the bench kind of thing, because that's the tough part as a player manager too, is try to keep all the bowlers, because everybody on the team wants to play, right? So they have to make sure that the team has the right mentality that, listen, like, you might not get to play every game, you might not get to play every frame, right? But you don't want to start hurting people's feelings and stuff like that. But I think for the most part, everybody here gets along. They've played with each other at various levels of competition. So
and it's much tougher than the Open, where you've only got 5 with 1 extra sub to manage a person roster and actually have to sit someone out and then have 2 subs. It's a lot of stress goes into that. I can assure you.
It's it's a stressful gig, but it's a good product that they put out in the 3rd year of the 5PL here. So we'll have a new champion this year, which is exciting. It'll be away from Sherwood Bowl in Alberta. So it'll be interesting to see who prevails with who gets that to bring that championship trophy to their home center. You're gonna ship that thing out to Newfoundland if they happen to get through here, or what?
You bet.
I don't know. Great stuff. Then Toppler, another 3 doubles here. Christine with the turkey there. They are playing well.
Christina getting rewarded for her persistence on the middle from last week.
Exactly, yeah.
Just a stand shot for Katie.
That's her last shot there. We got Mitchell going in for Katie. So again, that match, with Daryl throwing that double, was obviously on Toppler's side of things. And Toppler's, their magic number is what, 2.5, I guess? 2.5?
Yeah.
2.5. So they might be looking at individual matches here just to make sure that they can get, 3 ideally, just to clinch that. But they ain't letting up, man. 3 doubles. Derek with another strike after his missed corner spare. We're gonna need another big second half here from the Rock and Rollers to keep up here before pull away a little too much. Like Shane mentioned after the interview in the first game too, he said that they felt like they were kind of playing from behind a lot, which obviously makes it difficult, right? It's always nice to have a little bit of a cushion versus kind of what they're facing again right now, will be playing from behind.
Yeah, when you're playing from behind and nobody's got anything going, everybody feels like they have to throw 3 or 4 in a row themselves, right? Rather than just chip away, get a mark or 2 each, and just something to build on.
And you
like what you were saying, was it's contagious. So if they can get on a roll and carry a few strikes, and the next guy doesn't have to feel like he has to do something here, then maybe they can get something going.
Yeah, hey, well, we just saw the Rock and Rollers, right? We saw Tibbs pull that 6-bagger. We saw Katie throw that 4 or 5-bagger that she had, and we all know what Tibbs and Brad and Courtney they can all do. So let's see if they clutch up here in the second half of the game and make this a close one. And let's see if Toppler can keep firing here. Impressive.
Yeah, because with the doubles they have to count, they can really pile on here.
Heading into that break, so. Hopefully the Rock and Rollers can start a frame earlier, start before the break, and then have that extra frame of momentum kind of heading into that second half.
A great shot by Parker there.
Great bounce back game for Brandon.
Wow.
Oh. I suspect Shane's going to have a short lease here, even with Mitchell. Mitchell started out with a double off the bench last game, but then really struggled the last 3 or 4 frames. So I'm a little surprised Shane didn't go with himself here. But again, that maybe if someone else was managing the team, maybe they might have done that. Maybe Shane felt he should put Mitchell in.
With Daryl's punch there, kind of lets Mitchell back in here. If you can kind of do something with this 3-pin here. Well, still not out of his match. If he can kind of clean this up or clean the big side, he'll be down 20 sticks kind of thing with a full half to go. So Daryl unfortunately did not take control of that match when he had the opportunity to. But another head pin for him again. Head pin, double head pin, or to get anything going. And again, head pin, triple head pin.
Chance for Smitty to turn this match around.
Head pin. Yikes.
Not capitalizing on some opportunities here.
Yeah, it's it's still like super close kind of thing. It's who wants it? Who wants it here? The Rock and Rollers are gonna have to find the side. They're the ones that are playing catch up right now. So, and if you got Parker and Derek, Derek still got an opportunity to put another double up there for Toppler. Hopefully Brad can be that spark here, kind of heading into the break for the Rock and Rollers here.
Yeah.
There you go. Good solid shot there.
Double.
Yeah. No, it's a big shot here. Keeps him within kind of 36 as well. Obviously, Derek's not going to pull away after that double from Brad. So at worst, you're keeping up with him, which is exactly what happened there. So 2 doubles for the Toppler Roses. A few strikes there for the Rock and Roll. It should be an interesting second half. Close game.
Yeah, perfect. It's really close. Obviously, the 2 doubles working for Toppler Roses got a slight edge, but lots of marks working, and we'll jump in the commercial break.
Cargill is proud to be supporting a truly Canadian sport like 5-pin bowling. We look forward to watching some great competition from many competitors and bowling centres across our country. With hundreds of locations across Canada, Cargill is committed to helping the Canadian farmer thrive. Whether it is selling commodities, getting agronomic advice, fertilizer needs, crop protection, and marketing expertise, Cargill is here to help. So please enjoy this bowling. Thank you.
When you come to the Canadian Brewhouse, you'll feel right at home. We work hard to make our house your house. With an affordable menu of appetizers, entrees, desserts, beverages, and killer deals on daily specials. At our house, you never miss a play. As sports lovers, we've ensured each location includes over 50 TVs and our signature Jumbotron. The Canadian Brewhouse is the place people want to be.
All right, we have score update. 591, 537.
J-Brains coming in clutch once again. JB also posted in the chat there that Mitchell had quite the finish at the Masters qualifying, finishing with a 330 something and a 390 game to sneak on to the tournament men's team. So hell of a finish for Mitchell. So I'm sure he was pretty confident coming into today after that finish.
Yeah, and you saw the commercials there. Thanks again to JB and all our sponsors. I know Kerry posted the prize structure during the first game. All the teams appreciate all the work that goes into it, and it wouldn't be possible without all the sponsors. So thank you.
Yeah, you bet. The prize pool is made up of all these guys' franchise fees and our advertisers and all that stuff. So merch sales, and it all adds up, right? So we want to continue building the sport, building this league. We need to thank our advertisers, thank our sponsors, and most of all, thank the bowlers for putting in their time and trying to put on a show. Also,
here we go.
Riders too.
You guys yourselves as commentators are all volunteers. Our tech director is Mitch Ryu and all those guys.
You mean I'm not going to get checked for this?
Well, you would have to bowl, Al. That's the only way you get a check out of this.
Ouch. Even when I did bowl, I didn't get a check. So
yeah, fair.
Stick to commentating. Less aggravation from bowling.
Real good start by the Rollers here. Came out of the break here with some strikes, although the head pin by Brandon didn't help. But yeah, not a bad start.
I'm pretty sure we saw a little mini gator clap from Brandon there too after his double. So he's double, 2 corner spares, doubles. He's obviously feeling much better than he did in the first game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice to see the top get going, as Shane kind of alluded to in his pre or in the middle of the 2 games there, that the top wasn't leading. Well, it looks like the top is kind of doing their job now. So it looks like it's feeding into the bottom here. So great frame, great. That's a massive frame, 3 doubles, a strike, and Toppler a little bit shaky out of the break here. So be interesting to see what happens here and see if Christine and Derek can give them something kind of heading into the last 4 frames.
Yeah, and Roses have a move coming up with Jennifer going in for Darrell to start frame 7. But the Rollers have put themselves in a situation now. They're not worrying about that 162 they're down the previous game, because they can, with a good finish here, right? They've still got 7 points well within reach.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you look at the breakdown of matchups, with that head pin from Parker there in the 6th frame, opens up an opportunity for Courtney with the double. Brandon's got a pretty decent lead over Cello in the 2 spot. That strike from Katie keeps her in her match there against Daryl / Jennifer now. So it's those 3 matches at the top are gonna really dictate what happens towards the bottom. But Brad with the triple there, keeping it close with Derek, but Derek can keep the pedal here. Be a big shot for the Roses too.
Yeah.
A little thin there, eh?
Good count.
Little thin, great count, and so it kind of keeps them, a little bit ahead, even with Brad's, triple working there. But it'll be a big half just to get some marks for the Rollers here as well, because now they're facing 3 doubles, and all they would have is 3 spares. So advantage Rock and Rollers here. There we go. We wanted an exciting finish. Well, the Rock and Rollers definitely have set it up here to make it a real close one heading into to find out who our 4th and final finalist will be in the 5PL this year.
Yeah. So we've been kind of saying is you can't win it in game 1, but so give yourself an advantage.
Great shot.
Newfoundland
Great
singles
shot by
rep
Courtney.
clutching up here.
And of course, the winner of this game plays Next Gen. If anybody didn't see what Next Gen did yesterday, they had over 1,400 their first game with Tyler up top and Cody in 4. And then the next game, they added Jenna up top and put Haley in 4th. So they played 4 girls in the top 4 with Brad on the bottom, and they shot basically 1,400 again.
Unreal.
So
too good.
So with the Diamond Ladies Classic coming up this weekend, a shout out to all the ladies. It's on notice. There's a ton of great ladies out there, and look at this.
Cello and Parker. Parker got his chop spare, and Cello got his strike and got his big 30 count. So that's all he can do, right? Is keep throwing strikes. So it'll be interesting to see what Jen does off the bench here. Rock and Rollers are firing.
And with the double pull-in option, if Jen does struggle, they can throw Rich in as well. But
yeah, that's that particular match in the 3-hole, Katie does get that double there, so she's kind of evened up that match a little bit. But this match here with Christine and Brandon is kind of in Christine's hands here. But look at the Rollers go. Hambone.
Yeah, they're pumped up.
They're pumped up, feeding off each other, right? Now they're not worrying about being that one person to kind of carry the team, right? When you got 3 triples kind of working, another double. So you're going to have 4 doubles kind of going into 8, 9, 10 here. So, but they also know that there's a potential for, a 6-2 here. So they're going to have to make up a lot of ground in that pinfall. So all these doubles are going to be huge. Heading into the finish here, because and even you look at Toppler, they're putting up tons of marks there too, so they're doing what they can do as well. So great shot from Derek there.
Yeah.
Yikes! This is exciting.
That'll be a good finish. Yeah. See what kind of finish we're gonna have here if the Roses push back here a little bit and close this one out, or if Rollers can keep it rolling.
Yeah, look at the scores, 849 to 846. I know there's some kind of marks now counting there, so it's still very, very close. Courtney gets the Hambone. Parker punches. How the tides have turned. That match kind of just flips right back to Courtney's. She's sitting at, what's that, 80 plus 90, so she'll be sitting at 170 after 6. So she'll take a commanding lead in that match in the first spot there. Well, there's so you lose one of your triples there, but still in command of his individual match there. So we've got to keep pinning it out here for total as Parker tries to pin out his big side there. So
Brandon's still going to have 251 in the 8th if he pins out. Cello can only get to 235 if he throws a double here. So.
Yeah, so still in Brandon's control here, so doesn't pin out, so sits at 248. Cello gets a squeeze there. A little thick shot to carry for Cello. So again, this is all about total too, right? So it's so many different things you got to look at, right? So,
yeah, pivotal shot here, but they're all pivotal at this point.
Yeah. Jen off the bench. There you go with a spare strike right off the bench. So good 30 count for her.
It's great on these scoreboards that we actually have their grand totals working too, right? So in the very top right, you can
that's
see
right. Yeah,
the rollers have 22.51 to 23.55. So if it does turn 6-2 for the rollers, we can look at that grand total.
Hell yeah, there you go. So another big shot from Mitchell there. So he came off the bench as well, for Katie there. So he's doing what he's supposed to do. Brandon, oh no. That's a 3 punches in 4 frames for Brandon. And that's a match that kind of...
If she wants to...
Yeah, Christine's going to have...
Take control of this point.
Yeah, so Christine would kind of have... That's like really the only match that they have a little bit of a lead in.
Mm-hmm.
So it's... So yeah, anyways, there's still 3 frames left here, but...
Yeah.
But hopefully Brandon's acting as the whipping boy for the Rock and Rollers. You can sacrifice the 1 point, but you need the rest of your team to keep going. So luckily they've kept 2 of 3 string of strikes going here. Hopefully Brad can keep that third one going for the Rock and Rollers.
Man, Derek needs this double down below to keep in play here.
Oh, got roasted there.
Oh, wow.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Okay. Nobody's running away with anything.
Jeez, so that's like, so he's within 12.
In that frame for the rollers. Big
spare here from Derek now, kind of thing, because now all the Rock and Rollers have is the 2 doubles that are kind of working. They've unfortunately plowed and all the other ones. So again, maybe wanting it too much, a little too tight. Who knows? But
Derek
he misses the spare. So he'll still have a little bit of a lead there. So 232, 218, or 215.
So that big last ball for both those guys because it keeps it more than a ball.
Yeah.
232, 215 on the bottom. You always want to keep it within 15 if you can.
Mm-hmm.
9th frame, obviously.
Oh, great.
7-1 still in play for sure. So this is exciting.
And right now it's 6-2. So yeah. It's going to be exciting for sure.
So now it's all for total here for the teams for probably both sides.
Yeah.
There was a great shot in 9 there. This will kind of give us a better idea here for Courtney's score, unfortunately, with the miss there. But hopefully she can convert the half, get herself to 235 after 8, so which give her a pretty comfortable lead. There we go.
Great cover.
Great cover. Great count for the total, too. Cello's fired up, too. Triple from Cello. I always love watching Toppler Bowl because they have the old Mendez systems that Timmins used to have. So it's always a blast from the past when you see all these graphics.
Little thin. But players like Cello and Courtney and Katie on both teams just playing well beyond their years, like just clutching up, and it's easy to forget how young they are.
Yeah. No kidding, yeah.
So a couple spares at the top for Rock and Rollers, so definitely kind of staying in it there. So, but Brandon's lead is dwindled a little bit here. With Cello's 3-bagger there, so he's definitely. It's actually the match is in Cello's hand. If they were both to bag out, I think Cello wins by 2 or 3 or something. 325 to 323 or something.
Yep.
So it's back in Cello's hands. Mitchell, though, ham bone. trying to carry his team there in that middle spot. So he's kind of taking control of that third match over Daryl. Christine, it seems like her only opens are head pins. She had the one open in the first game. Did that fall?
It
did fall.
Great shot. Shane, of course, right now patting himself on the back for putting Courtney and Brandon up top and putting Mitchell in for Katie instead of himself.
Yeah, well, they're playing another strong game, right? They didn't play, like I said, they didn't play awful the first game either, right? So it was very, very close. But they need to bridge that gap and set it up here for the 10th frame, because if you look at the kind of running totals, 24-08, 25-13, there's still 100 pins difference here. So a great shot from Brad, especially in that individual match against Derek too, because if they can get to 7-1, they don't even have to worry about total.
Right.
So, but if they get to that 6-2, and right now that's kind of what it's looking at, Derek with his lead in that match, and then, Cello, potentially, and even Christine's kind of still ahead. However, Brandon Smith did get that strike to, keep it alive. He maxes out at 249, so forces Christine to get that 30 count to shut him out. So,
yeah,
a lot of possibilities here.
Yeah.
So here we go. Last frame. Yeah. Winner moves on to the Schwartz Home Hardware Finals. And your reward for winning this, yes, you do get $2,000 extra, but you have to go face the next gen team.
Yeah. The number one seed.
Yeah, so Parker match is 279.
Yeah, so 279. So Courtney throws the first one, it's over. Oh, Jesus.
Wow. Well, this becomes a very big shot.
Oh, big shot. So Courtney needs to pin out here for 270, which would obviously force Parker to throw the next one and get a count. Get a count, right? So, so I think this is, with pinfall being, they're up 50, but they're still down 120 or 100-ish total. So they might have to go that 7-1 route versus the 6-2 and try to make up that pinfall. So, but they do have a lot of marks going down the line. So,
whoa, there it is. Another one.
Parker, clutch. This is a big Courtney. This is a big 5 sticks here for Courtney now, right? So,
yeah,
this is massive.
As a spectator, this is where I'm glad they're playing in center, so don't have a lot of kickbacks, because you hate to get 15 and then have the other person pick and end up 7 or 8 to steal it.
Parker needs the side of something. There we go. He bags out again. That's a huge point.
That's a large,
huge point. Unfortunate for the Rock and Rollers there. Courtney, with a head pin and 10 there to lose that match to Parker clutching up, bagging out 9-10.
This isn't over yet by any means, but that
one and a half points now. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Cello controls it here too, whatever, right? Oh, now with him punching.
Wow.
Oh no. Wide left.
5.
So he goes 30. He goes 30. Oh, did he get 5?
That's a huge kick.
Yeah.
Right
okay.
Right after I mentioned that. So you can pin for 283. Cello can go 30 for 285.
Yeah.
That extra deuce going to be the difference.
Oh no.
That's what I get for opening my mouth.
Man. Yeah, we are awful with this commentator curse thing today, I feel. I don't even want to talk anymore. Great pinning from Brandon there. Unfortunately, 2 head pins last 3 frames. Not the way he wanted to finish that, but much better game than he had the first one.
Even 28 counts.
I mean, you'd even want to take a corner here, eh?
28, so that's a half.
So
that's
huge, 1.5. That's 1.5. So now, Derek is the only, even Christine's match. Christine can kind of finish it off here. We're going to give this match to Mitchell here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're going to need 2 steals on the bottom.
Yeah, you're going to need 2 steals on the bottom. Exactly. They're going to have to sweep the bottom.
Look at this finish by the Rollers.
Just punching.
So yeah, they're gonna have to win the bottom two matches. You know, Brandon and Brad are gonna have to find a way, but it's gonna be it's in Toppler's hands. Toppler has control of their own destiny, as you can say. So Christine she'll need a mark and a count kind of thing to get to that 250 mark, because I think he maxes out at 249. So 30 count for Christine, and Brad maxes out at 305. So would force Derek to get the first one.
They're down 40 in totals again too, though.
Yeah.
They're what for total too? Yeah. Well, to make up the ground in those matches, they'd probably have to swing the total at the same time, right? So.
Yeah, they will. They have the marks working down below.
Yeah, Derek has one. Christine has nothing, right? She's open right now.
Yeah, correct.
Jennifer 100 for 4 frames off the bench. Big shot for Christine here.
Yeah,
Smitty's gonna have to go off the sheet. Oh no!
All right, this is.
Oh my God!
Goodness gracious!
Let's see what Mr. Smitty can do here.
What does he need?
He needs the first two.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's in one.
Oh man! And see, he throws the next one, then they take total, right? So it's like it's going to come down to the bottom.
Yeah.
But he needs the next one. He needs the next one for sure, I think. Because if he goes 43, it'll be at 202, 230. Depending if she picks this, she doesn't pick it. So she gets the 43.
Corner spare now.
73 is 232. Yeah, corner spare.
Corner spare.
Oh my goodness!
This has the potential of going 6.5, 1.5. Oh, and he bombs it. Just an absolute nuke. Great shot from Smitty there to take his match. So. You know what Parker did to Courtney at the top, Brandon does to Christine in the 4-hole here.
Big fill ball here. Get that up.
There we go.
Like Derek's going to be waiting.
There we go.
Derek's
waiting. He's a vet. I'm sure he's waiting. He understands what's at stake here. But yeah, this is well, it's in again Toppler's hands. Derek wins the point. It's over. And I don't think the Rock and Rollers are going to be able to gain on total. So Brad's going to have to win this match.
Yeah.
And Brad's is going up. Even as the home team just wants to throw. And Derek maybe just sitting on the sidelines here because knows Brad probably needs
just watching this one. Yeah.
Probably needs the first one here. Put some pressure on. No.
Oh.
Yeah, you can tell from the body language there is pretty much game over. Unfortunate for the Rock and Rollers there. 4 bowlers punching in 10. All on marks. Smitty, the only one kind of finishing that game. So a little bit of a heartbreaking finish there for the Rock and Rollers. But they had a hell of a push, though.
Yeah, 3 punches in 8 and 4 punches in 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, another solid game. 1304 for the Rock and Rollers. Great showing, great season. Obviously not ideal, probably not what they wanted, but they definitely made a push for it in that second game after losing that first game 6-2.
Insane.
Absolutely, yeah. A ball away from moving on, really. Like,
I don't know how the scores are calculated here, but I don't know if Derek's pins are counting with total, but it looks like Toppler will probably take total here with that count. Yeah, 13-11. So it looks like Toppler is going to take that total as well. So 11.5 to 4.5. So it went 6.5, 1.5, or no, 6.5, 2.5, or 5.5.
Yeah, I believe
1.5.
5.5 to 2.5.
5.5 to 2.5. Yeah.
2.5. Yeah. Wow.
Unreal.
That was exciting. Yeah, 12-pin game there, 1304 to 1316. And 4 punches for the Rock and Rollers. And they were all on marks, going into 10. So
the point.
Yeah. It always comes down to the last player, doesn't it? It's the way it seems. We know there's lots of spots that they could have flipped it around with the Courtney, Brendan, Katie having the punches up top, but like it always seems like it's still a chance. One ball, that's all you need. One ball.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Yeah, huge push by them to make it close. They did. Like they fought tooth and nail to right down to the end kind of thing. Ran into some plow problems in 10 and
Amazing.
And-
So 11.5 to 4.5 for the Roses. They will be moving on to play next gen when we can schedule that match. We'll bring in our managers here. I'm sure both their hearts are beating through the roof right now. Stacy, Shane, unreal.
Wait.
Oh my God. Oh
Did that feel
my.
a bit like deja vu?
how's your heart?
It's beating fast, guys. Like I tried to have a sip of my beer. I couldn't. I was the shaky hand. Yikes.
Great bowling from both sides, guys. Congratulations. That was a hell of a semifinal. So you guys put on a show and some great bowling both ways. So congrats.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, congrats, guys.
We'll
It
start.
was a great match.
Yeah, Shane. Like obviously it's going to be a lot to take in right away here, but how are you feeling as a team? You guys came down to the 10th frame. You built all that points back up to possibly take it down. That 10th frame had to be electric just for you guys. That's incredible.
Yeah, I mean it was a fun frame to watch. The whole team was in it. I think up top there kind of hurt, like we losing that first point that kind of set the tone. It gave us no room for error at that point, and but yeah, I mean we got all we could ask for there. We lost 6-2. We were down 160 or 170. All you can really ask for there is a shot in 10, and we certainly had it going into the last bowler. So hats off to the Roses. I mean, they threw well. So
yeah, I'm sure the audience and the fans watching, this is exactly what they were. Well, maybe not exactly what they're looking for. They probably got hometown fans, but as a spectator watching that go down has got to be incredible.
Yeah, I mean, we probably got, I'm going to say 20 people here watching us, and it's just a whole different dynamic. Everybody's watching, but everyone's looking at their phones, and five of us on our lanes watching phones versus watching the bowler throw. So it's a whole different dynamic.
Totally. Stacy, Roses, they got to feel good about it. That's incredible comeback, and to hold them off in the 10th frame. That's incredible.
This team just never gives up. I mean, we did this last year on a Monday night, Steve. It's
I remember.
I might be like splitting some gray hairs up here right now. Like it was, but they don't give up, and they got each other's back. And if there's ever a way, they'll find a way to pull it in there and pull it together. And it's just kind of how they work, and that's why we're like the family team. We've all been together and known each other for longer than Chel's been alive, right? So longer than Parker's been alive too, probably.
Yeah, and like so fun to watch, and both teams so stacked. I mean, Shane, like Mitchell comes in, gives you that big spark that game with the 4-bagger off the bench.
Who is that guy, Mitchell? He did that last time to us.
And then didn't even use yourself. And then Stacy, you have a choice between Jennifer and Rich. Like that's a lot of.
I'll tell you why I put Jen in, because she was warming up and Rich was just sitting there, and Rich is older than Jen, so he needs to warm up. So I just said, okay, Jen, you're in.
Yeah, I mean it's too deep. It's 2 deep teams, so it's not as difficult not putting myself in when you can put someone like Mitch or Fortney or whoever came off the bench today, and it's to just make your life a little easier. So
for sure. And again, we saw it seemed like last week, but it was yesterday. Our match came down to the last ball, and throughout the whole game you could find 20 shots that could have made the difference, and it happens for you guys playing 2 games. So just exciting to watch. 2 great teams, and that's why the league is so strong.
Definitely.
So we'll let you guys go. Rock and Rollers, great season. You'll get a quick payout for making it to the semifinals of $33.60. Congratulations, and yeah, have a great summer and lots of
Newfoundland. We'll see you guys in a couple weeks, man.
See you in a couple of weeks, Al. And good luck in the semis, Stacey.
Yeah,
Thanks.
for sure. And then Stacey, great job, Toppler Roses. And good luck at the Diamond Ladies Classic at Toppler this coming week.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Carrie will be here helping out.
You bet.
Thanks for
All right.
commentating.
See you.
All right, guys.
Bye, guys.
Well, good job, crew.
I gotta ask, is it a rematch in the home hardware division? Was it Next Gen against Toppler last year in the finals for the home hardware division?
A great question. I believe it was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Steve knows. Steve is aware. Yeah. So there you go. So a rematch. We got to build up the hype train for the finals.
Crazy. So they'll be taking on Next Gen for the finals in the home hardware division. And if you guys aren't paying attention, another podcast this Wednesday. We will see you, or we will be filming at the Diamond Ladies Classic this weekend, and we will try and figure out when we're going to host the finals of the home hardware division and the Cargill division. Thanks very much, guys, for hosting with me, and have a great evening.
My pleasure.
Take care.
Cheers,
Bye.
gentlemen.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
Cargill is proud to be supporting a truly Canadian sport like 5-pin bowling. We look forward to watching some great competition from many competitors and bowling centres across our country. With hundreds of locations across Canada, Cargill is committed to helping the Canadian farmer thrive. Whether it is selling commodities, getting agronomic advice, fertilizer needs, crop protection, and marketing expertise, Cargill is here to help. So please enjoy this bowling. Thank you.
When you come to the Canadian Brewhouse, you'll feel right at home. We work hard to make our house your house. With an affordable menu of appetizers, entrees, desserts, beverages, and killer deals on daily specials. At our house, you never miss a play. As sports lovers, we've ensured each location includes over 50 TVs and our signature Jumbotron. The Canadian Brewhouse is the place people want to be.